Good morning, everybody. Good morning, Ryan. Good morning, Thomas Burnett out in the chat room early. Welcome to another Saturday edition of Thoughts Count Anywhere, coming to you live from the Go Live Vegas studios in the heart of beautiful Las Vegas. I am Aaron Phillips. At least that's what the face keeps telling me every morning in the mirror. Of course, I'm joined by my cohorts or co-hosts or whatever you want to call these guys. To my right in the red, Mr. Chief himself. We'll just call him the Chief as always. And to his right, the man, the myth, the legend behind all of our website, social media, up to over 4,200 fans on our Facebook page. And we thank you for that, Mr. Matt Mullen. Gentlemen, how are we doing this week?
Tired.
Good morning.
Tired and a good morning. And of course, I'd be remiss in not mentioning our producer who's sitting behind the desk, pushing the buttons, Mr. Aaron E.
How's our Hall of Famer doing today?
Hall of Famer, man. I got a long day today. I got a long, productive. It's true. Right after the show, I'll have no time for that. I have a long, productive day. I got 3 shows today. I'm meeting someone for lunch about production. 5 o'clock, Neil Portnoy and I are going to be appearing on Ron Garnett's radio show. Look at my Facebook page. So I got a busy day.
Nice.
Then I'm going to collapse tomorrow and getting ready to watch the pay-per-view.
There you go.
So good morning, Garth. I see you out there, gentlemen. 702-329-6947 is our local number. 702-329-6947. Press the number 1 to come direct into the studio, and there on the screen, 855-502-4321. Also, you still need to press number 1, and we have a lot going on. If you're watching us on Facebook, thank you. There's our QR code. Takes you right to our website where you, too, can look like the 3 of us with our Thoughts Count Anywhere merchandise. I'm wearing the classic gray. Mr. Chief's got the same established shirt in red. And, of course, Mr. Matt there, he is sporting our hooded sweatshirt.
I've been known to support Thoughts Count Anywhere.
Yes, just a little bit. A little bit. Right there on the screen is a QR code. Take your phone, whether it's during the live show, later on, whenever, scan it, takes you right to our page. Click the shop tab, and you too can help us spread the word and have our page and our presence continue to grow. So we're doing a lot. We got a lot going on. We have a lot to talk about. Takeover results. Elimination is tomorrow night. Chiefs rant, potpourri of stuff at the end, birthdays and all the other good stuff. So without further ado, shall we begin, gentlemen?
Good morning, Sean Hyde.
Let's do it.
And good morning, Sarah Beck.
There you go. Absolutely. So let's get started with some rumors under I Hear Voiviz. Voiviz. Were we having a little typing issue during the night?
You know what the hell it meant.
Rumored top matches for WrestleMania. Roman versus Edge. Sasha versus Bianca. And Randy Orton versus The Fiend, under who knows what kind of guys he will be back in soon. I don't think we're going to see him as we've known him. Alexa keeps pushing something else. But anyway,
True.
Any surprises really in these 3 matches that are being rumored?
I don't think so, really. I mean, the only question I've got, when is Sasha going to do the turn on Bianca? You know, after the tag team match last night.
Sunday. As soon as they announced that tag match, and I was like, I wonder how they're going to set up the WrestleMania match. And then they announced that tag match, and I was like, that's a spoiler if I've ever seen one just by announcing a match.
Exactly. So, again, this goes back to why we did not see Randy Orton and Roman in that pay-per-view. Vince does not like heel versus heel, does not like good guy versus good guy. So, yeah, I think that's going to be inevitable. Plus, I think it's safe to say everybody seems to enjoy Sasha when she's a heel anyway, better than a face, right?
Correct.
She's a way better heel than she is a face, for sure.
You know, I guess the other question is Reginald going to go away from Carmella and possibly team up with Sasha?
Well, he was part of a mixed 6-person tag last night. I don't know. I don't know. There's a lot they can do with that because now they're setting up potentially another angle really between Lana and Sasha again because of him.
Exactly.
So who knows, you know?
That's if they have good creative writing.
Chief's got jokes.
Yeah, buddy.
Joke of the day right here, ladies and gentlemen, by Chief right there. But you know what, though? It's something interesting, and I don't know. To me, would anybody really want to see another run of Carmella and Sasha again?
Nope.
Okay, well, that answers it. So no matter how good creative can or could be or should be, it doesn't matter. All right, next topic.
Ding, ding.
Rumor is, formerly known as Zelina Vega, Thea Trinidad could be on her way to AEW to manage Pride and Powerful. Gentlemen, your thoughts?
Why WWE ever let her goes beyond me, but I think it's a good move for all concerned.
Definitely, I'd like to see her back in front of a camera, managing some group.
You want to see her back in front of the camera, or you want to see her just back in the arena spotlight?
all the above.
Okay, I just want to clarify. So
Why WWE let her go is beyond me, but how they keep guys like Bo Dallas just sitting in catering, but let somebody like Zelina Vega go just because she's put a stand against herself of like the whole third party thing.
Right.
They had to make her a scapegoat, but if it doesn't involve like WWE wrestlers being in the ring, it's none of WWE's business.
Well, you know,
Really, like what they do outside of the ring, because they ain't doing house shows and anything else,
Right.
so they're losing all this money.
Mm-hmm.
So they might as well do something to like make up for it.
I agree, Chief.
no, what I was going to say, we were talking earlier before you got here, Matt, and you know, you take notice the last couple of weeks. Nobody from NXT who got called up has been seen on any of the shows other than Damian Priest. No Rhea Ripley.
Well, Rhea Ripley was the big name that we had heard over the last couple of weeks,
Where's she at?
right?
You know, and
Maybe they're still fine-tuning her new look.
Oh Lord!
I'm sorry, I don't like the new look. The black gothic.
you're entitled to your opinion, sir.
That's fine, as is everybody out there.
That's why I'm just giving you the look and not saying the word.
You know what? Because of that, I'm suspending you 1 week. You're not here next week. How's that?
Very well. And I will not be here next week, so
Right.
there will be no Chiefs rant. However, there will be a guest
And we'll
sitting
announce
in
that.
my chair.
We'll announce that at the end of the show.
Yes, we will.
All right, and let's go to the next topic. Once again, it comes out Vince McMahon not a big fan of Keith Lee. Doesn't want to push him. He's probably going to be pulled out of the Elimination Chamber for some reason. What is the beef? Is it because Keith Lee has too much beef and he doesn't fit the molded Adonis look that we all know Vince likes? What is it?
I get like the whole. I don't get like physically why he doesn't like him, but like his promos, I totally get because
Yeah, he needs work.
that is like the most boring thing. Like I'd rather watch paint dry than listen to Keith Lee do a promo with his monotone like voice. He needs a manager and to never speak ever again.
I don't disagree with you. The thing that I remember out here in Vegas, I remember seeing, and Keith Lee is a big man. I remember seeing Keith Lee in a 3-way at Sam's Town.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
He can freaking wrestle. He can go over the top rope. Okay, so even though he's big and he might not fit the wrestling profile, I think Vince needs to get his head out of his ass and put the man on the show.
If you're not pleased with a guy like Keith Lee, why bring him up in the first place?
Why bring Kevin Owens in?
Well, yeah,
There's another one.
totally agree. However, with Keith Lee being Owens has been up now, 3-4 years, whatever it is, 4 years, 5 years when he came out against Cena on that show. But if Vince felt this way all along, why waste him on the main roster, not keep him in NXT or whatever? Why bring it like we talk about many of the NXT call-ups? They come up after having a great run. They get a big splash when they arrive. Then if for whatever the reason Vince gets a bug in his ass, they're done for. Okay, and I don't get it. At least send him back to then NXT and let him stay there for a little bit until there's a reason to call him up. I would like to see him, and he'll change. I believe he'll change the promo if he ever turns heel, because then he should talk at first as a monster heel, then get the mouthpiece for him, like you were talking about as a manager, and then shut up from there. Because he stated his case, why he's going to do what he's doing, and now he's going to let his actions speak for him, while he's got a manager that will do all the other Paul Heyman-esque managing stuff. That's my opinion.
Yeah.
So
I'm just trying to think who the manager could be. The only manager I know of that we've got in WWE right now is Paul Heyman. You got a couple of jabronis down in NXT, that are looking for jobs, but I mean, really, the only true manager is Heyman.
True.
Well, I'm sure there's somebody who's not being used often enough as a wrestler who's towards the end of their twilight that possibly could make that transition and be a mouthpiece. I don't know who. We have to think about it. So that's a great question. Let's ask everybody out there, who are your thoughts on who could be a good manager for Keith Lee to either cover his promos if he turns heel, whatever? Who should Keith Lee be joined up with in order to see if we could see a little bit darker side of a personality and certainly much better promos coming out of Keith Lee?
MVP, put him in the Hurt Business.
There you go.
Maybe he needs to get Garthed.
Yeah. Yeah.
He doesn't end up on the ground too much.
No.
True.
That's very true. Thomas Burnett asks, what happened to our bell ringer? Thomas, we've gone digital. So thank you for asking. Appreciate that. All right, last topic, and I hear voices. Rumor has it this past week that the Santos cross match was not happening because of a medical reason. Who? What?
I don't know, but I really was looking forward to that match, and when they kind of put it off for another week, just delaying the inevitable, really, but Santos is going to get got.
That's if Santos even shows up this week.
True. I'm guessing the medical issue is Santos related just because they put the belt stipulation and stuff maybe, but who knows? Hope they're all well, and hopefully Wednesday we get the match we want to see.
Mm-hmm.
I just got my rant for the day.
You should be prepping for that before you come to the show.
So you just got your rant 15 minutes into the show?
Yep.
Sweet.
Do you want me to do it now?
No, sir.
Oh, okay.
No, sir, because everybody's used to it at the bottom of the hour.
You got 15 minutes to think of the rest of your rant.
I was just because you can let it stew now. You can let it build a little bit.
Oh, it is.
All right. Okay, before we go to break, let's start talking about Takeover from last week, Takeover results. So, Matt, why don't you kick us off? Let's start talking about some of the Takeover stuff from last week.
Dakota Kai and Raquel Gonzalez defeated Ember Moon and Shotzi Blackheart to win the first Women's Dusty Cup. That was a good match. I wanted Dakota Kai to win. Glad the right person won.
I went 0 for 5.
Did you really?
Yep. No. I the only one I had was Finn. No, I'll tell you what. That when they get their shot at the belts, it's going to be a hell of a match. And I think if Raquel hits a certain hole, they'll definitely win it.
Okay.
As much as I'd like to see them win the tag titles, I don't think they're going to take them off Shayna and Nia.
That's got to happen,
unfortunately.
Yeah, and I think that's got for Shayna and Nia. I think they have to lose the belts on the main roster.
Well, here
and then have whoever that is go down to NXT and do whatever they're going to do on the multiple shows.
Yeah.
My thought is they lose the belts and then they bring Raquel and Dakota up to the main roster.
Yes.
And bring them in to SmackDown and Raw. That's my thought. Possibly that would be good creative writing, something we wouldn't be expecting. But with these Hollywood writers they got, shit, you can't even guess it.
If it's something that we can be like, oh, that would be really entertaining, and we think of it, they will never think of it.
Couple of comments in the chat room before we move on. Ryan says, only a matter of time before Escobar gets what's coming. TikTok. Sean Hyde puts a red X out there. Ryan also says, thoughts on Eli Drake / LA Knight in NXT? One of the best talkers in wrestling, in his opinion.
L.A. Knight.
Let me talk to you.
Yeah, dummy.
That dude's beyond entertaining. If they let him go to the point we all know Eli Drake can go, he could be like a big star in NXT, and Triple H and Shawn seem to know what they're doing, so
let it ride.
Right.
let him do his damn thing.
All right, with that, before we continue down the TakeOver results, let us get ready for our first break. We have some great supporters of our show. More coming soon to the show as well, so stay tuned for that. In the meantime, you are watching Thoughts Count Anywhere. We'll be back in 60 seconds.
It's not the worst podcast ever, is it? It's the best podcast. Thoughts Count Anywhere. All your wrestling news, all your hobbit hey, all your gimmickry. Go on over, listen wherever your podcasts are downloaded. The Thoughts Count Anywhere podcast. I'm the big LG Doc Ellis. That's my endorsement. Booyah!
This is John Cena. I just wanted to send you a congratulations on your podcast, Thoughts Count Anywhere. Because indeed they do. Thoughts are important. I mean, what would we do without them? And how can they not count anywhere? I just wonder, is there a place that thoughts don't count? I can't think of one. Well, I just wanted to say thank you very much, congratulations, and good luck on the podcast. Thoughts count anywhere, because they do.
All right. Welcome back. All right, let's keep going.
I want to read a quick comment.
Sure.
Sean Hyde writes in, LA Knight's going to be a huge star. Don't disagree with you. I wonder why he didn't make it the first time. Sean, if you got anything on that, any perspective, give me a shout, will you?
I wonder if our hockey team here in town is going to have an issue with WWE using that name. Just thought I'd throw that out there. In the meantime, shall we go back to TakeOver results? Go ahead, Matt.
Certainly. Johnny Gargano retained his North American Championship against Kushida. That was a really good match. I thought Kushida possibly was going to win at some point. But it was really funny in the beginning when the
group
was coming out. I couldn't think of the freaking. I'm way too
That's
tired
o-
for
that's
this
okay.
right now.
I got your
The
back.
Way. When the way was coming out, when Dexter Lumis grabbed Austin Theory, I thought that was like the beginning of Kushida about to win the championship, just because there was going to be no interference. But Gargano pulled it out. So
Well, what about when Theory come out in his underwear?
that was funny on Wednesday.
Oh, my God. Oh, my Lord. What are we going into here? All right, next match.
MSK defeated the Grizzled Young Veterans to win the Dusty Classic.
That's what we call ringus interruptus. Premature ringus.
It was cool to see MSK win. They're going to get a tag title opportunity soon. Hopefully they win it.
Well, usually something like this, I would think, would catapult a team into the main tag team picture, right?
Definitely.
Would only make sense.
Do you think, let me throw this question out. Do you think MSK got the push because of how well they wrestled on Impact and WWE wanted to give them the push now?
Keep momentum going
Yes.
for them. Why not? If they're hot, if they're that hot, and it made the news the way that it did, that they were leaving, and are they going to come? Are they not going to come? You got a hot commodity that already has momentum, so I don't see why not. I don't see why you wouldn't take advantage of it. You know, it's not like it's just a brand new team that's put together. They may have a new name, but it's still the same faces. So, personally, I'm okay with it.
With like MSK going to WWE, I just want to know what blackmail photos somebody in Impact had against Trey Miguel for him to re-sign with that company and not go to WWE. That is beyond me still. I don't get it.
I think there's a lot of things that possibly could go on behind the scenes that stay in Canada and don't ever make it down to the United States here on their creative people in charge. And, you know, I'm just so glad that this person got out of their...
Got out of Dodge.
Yes.
All right.
I can kind of guess that there's been a lot of Impact shows in Vegas, and you would usually see the Rascals back behind the parking lot after the show, so I'm guessing maybe two of them were able to stop doing something and the other one wasn't.
Exactly.
would literally be my only guess.
Yeah.
But
What could that be?
Yeah.
Anyway, next match.
Io Shirai retained the women's championship against Toni Storm and Mercedes Martinez. I really thought we were going to have a new champion, but I don't know who's going to take that belt off of Io Shirai now.
If Carrion makes good down there, Scarlett maybe? You want to see a powerful, couple have the belts?
Please don't tease me like this.
Okay, I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
I cannot wait until Scarlett's able to wrestle. She can go, which I don't know if a lot of people can even know. But
Is she injured? Is that why she's not actually wrestling?
No.
not at all.
Not
So
at all.
they're just really focusing on Kevin right now.
Yeah.
It's just okay. Just want to make sure.
I really think eventually we're going to see Scarlett and Johnny's wife, Taya, either battling each other or they're going to become a tag team.
I can definitely see that.
That's interesting. Yeah, that is, and I'm sure it's on here. Big news of another couple reuniting in WWE world.
Yes.
All right, next match on the card was Finn Balor. He defeated Pete Dunne to retain his NXT championship.
I thought it was a great match. I've got to give some props. Gargano, didn't like him after seeing him with Kushida. Great match. Balor and Pete Dunne, they put on a hell of a match. I read a story this week that Balor only thought he was going to be down there a couple months in NXT, but it's turned out to be 6 months now, I think, and he's wondering what's going on.
For Finn?
Yes.
Wasn't he at one point when he first went down there? He wanted to stay down there and not come back up?
From what I read this week, I read an article yesterday, and it said that his time at NXT was going to be very short. I think just to cover a certain person's injury until he was healthy to come back, and then Finn was expecting to go back up to the main roster, and it hasn't happened.
Wow. Well, in a way, I'm kind of glad. There's no room for him with all the other shenanigans that are going on up in SmackDown and Raw. But, okay, well, that's news. I mean, I kind of read a little bit of that story, but I thought at very first he wanted to be moved back to NXT, and he was very happy there. And now he's down there, almost
6 months.
He's there longer than 6 months.
Probably like 8-9 months now.
I remember when he went away to Australia, he got married, he was on a honeymoon.
Right.
Yeah.
That seems longer than 6-8 months ago because that was all part of that NXT transition, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, if it's less than a year, then I need to get my clocks fixed because it seems like he's been down there for a lot longer than 6-8 months.
I'll check right now.
It's just a matter of curiosity.
Let me read a couple comments
All right, sure.
that
Go
I
ahead,
asked Sean. Ricker's issues with Bill DeMott, from what I understand, during his first NXT run. And the other one is a lot behind Trey not signing with WWE. He's a good kid, made the best choice for him and his family right now. And I appreciate that, Sean. Thanks for piping back to me, buddy.
Right on. So, interesting news being shared there in the chat room. I want to give a special shout out to a friend of mine from the Flat Track Women's Roller Derby team, the Atomic Roller Girls here in Las Vegas. Am Bam Bam is in the chat room, one of the best lady skaters I've ever seen out there. She does a tremendous job getting points for her team. So if you ever get a chance when they hit the floor again, we're going to have to do something, get TCA out there for one of their bouts.
I wonder if she knows our guest next week. Who?
Really?
Who could it be?
Do you think?
I don't know.
I don't know. I don't know if she has any wrestling connections.
I don't know. Who?
Okay, with that, and then of course after the match, we had a little scuffle take place. Undisputed Era came out to save Balor. Then Adam Cole super kicked Balor. Then turned on Kyle O'Reilly.
You know what? That was some good creative writing there, and thank God it was at NXT, not on the main rosters. Okay.
Yeah.
It was excellent.
Do we see now Pat McAfee coming back? Because remember, those two were at it now, and we know McAfee was a heel, and now we're seeing Adam Cole turn. Do we see a return of McAfee with Adam Cole as a little swerve?
I seen McAfee put a video out this week on his airplane saying that
Yep.
he was coming back.
He's like, I told you so.
Yeah.
I told you he was a bad guy.
That's
So-
it. All right, let's move on. Tomorrow night, as we move on to our next topic.
Hint, hint.
Oh, my goodness. We may have to invest in a bell so Chief controls it up here. Anyway, Elimination Chambers tomorrow night. Let's get started with the first chamber match. It's the WWE Championship Chamber match. Drew McIntyre versus Sheamus, AJ Styles, Kofi Kingston, Jeff Hardy, and Randy Orton. There's no way Drew loses the belt.
Drew retains.
Absolutely.
All right.
Absolutely.
Now, little twist on the other chamber for the men is that the winner of the men's chamber, which will have Corbin, Owens, Jey Uso, jeez, Cesaro, Daniel Bryan, and Sami Zayn, the winner of that match will take on Roman Reigns later that night in the card. And do you know the reason why they separate? You guys, I'm sure, know why they didn't want Roman to be in the match with the title. Have you guys heard this?
I have not.
They didn't want to have two chamber matches, to be the same with the champion in the match. So they pulled Roman out of the SmackDown match so that the championship or the winner for that belt is held separately than the way that the WWE championship is going to be decided in the chamber. That's
They've
the only
done that for how many years in a row now?
So that's why they didn't have Roman in that match itself, and that's why they made the big to-do with the contract and all that. You know, he's going to defend it at the chamber, but it doesn't say in the chamber. So that was why that all was sort of highlighted. So
Thank you for heightening my awareness.
that's what I'm here for, Chief.
I appreciate
you
that.
suffer from that half Alzheimer's, so I want to make sure I get
Alzheimer's,
the
yes.
other half covered for you.
I appreciate
So
it.
who wins the SmackDown side, and who will face Roman Reigns that night?
Most likely it's going to be Kevin Owens again. I don't want it to be at this point. I want it to be Cesaro, but if I had to put money on it, it's probably Kevin Owens.
You know, I'm going to go with Jey Uso.
You think they make the turn now? I mean, WrestleMania is 2 months away. So they got, if they're going to do something.
Yes, I think so. I think they're going to make the turn now. In my mind, it's either going to be Uso or Cesaro, one of the two of them.
Okay. Now, what's interesting about the Cesaro pick, as we saw this past week, though, he kind of is getting involved with the story with Seth Rollins.
Yeah.
So do we have him win the chamber, go against Roman, and then maybe Seth comes out at the end to get involved in that match to screw Cesaro over?
Yeah, I could see that.
Now, there was also heat with Daniel Bryan early on, right after Jey Uso joined the family table.
Right.
So I think that leaves the door open there. Although I think Roman Reigns and Kevin Owens have put on 3 great matches, it's time that is done.
You know, I read this week that Jey Uso might be injured also. He may be taken out of the match before it even starts.
Really?
Yeah.
Wouldn't surprise me. I'm gonna go out on a limb. I'm gonna stick with the Cesaro story because this is how I see Seth Rollins maybe kind of getting back involved in getting his comeuppance against Cesaro and cost him the title. United States Championship: Lashley, Riddle, Keith Lee.
I want to see Riddle win the United States title.
Is the match just going to be Lashley and Riddle? There's talk that Lee might not be even in the match.
I saw that, or he might be
Yeah.
replaced. I did.
That's
That's part of the conversation with Vince.
Yep.
Vince not liking Keith Lee, and they're going to try to
Exactly.
figure out a way to get him out.
Exactly.
702-329-6947. Give us your thoughts on the chamber matches tomorrow, who you're predicting. 702-329-6947, press number 1.
Phil Campbell says they overprotect Roman Reigns way too much.
Ryan says, if you turn Jimmy heel, you got to bring Jimmy back. But if you keep both heel, do the Usos versus Edge and Christian at Fastlane. The thing with Jimmy is I'm not sure he's ready to come back yet. We were talking about this last week, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
I don't think we're going to see Jimmy for a while.
So it's an interesting setup, Ryan, but I'm not sure that Jimmy is ready to come back yet. All right, next match, Raw Women's Championship, Asuka versus Lacey Evans with a question mark. As we all know, she came out on the show this past week, announced that she's pregnant. Rumor has it it's real. It's not a storyline work with Rick. So, given that, who do we see possibly replacing her against Asuka?
She couldn't have got pregnant at a better time because that storyline was so goddamn dumb.
I think they just went in a
That was
bad
creative,
direction.
perfect way to be like, see ya, get out.
Yeah.
How do you really feel about it?
Just like that.
Okay.
They had so many things they could have done in that storyline to portray it a little bit differently than what they're doing now. Because now if it's turning into that sugar daddy story, that's really going to heighten the fact that people are just not loving the storyline.
When she turned around and was like, I'm pregnant, and I was like, I am freaking done with this goddamn show. I'm not watching Raw anymore.
Let me ask you a question. could this be the point where Rhea Ripley steps in and goes against Asuka, and that's why they've been keeping her off TV for the last couple of weeks? Or could it be
That sounds too entertaining for that to actually happen.
Damn, maybe I need to start writing for WWE.
There you go. Anybody can write better than what's there. Hey, I just want to remind everybody and thank you all for tuning into Thoughts Count Anywhere, coming to you live from the Go Live Vegas studios in Las Vegas. Make sure you continue to like us on our Facebook page, our YouTube channel, and all the other social media sites that you can catch our show. Replays are out there. And, of course, go to our website, thoughtscountanywhere.com. Just go there. There's an archive tab. You can catch all of our shows there. Go to our merchandise tab that is called Shop. And you, too, can wear our logo and help us out and spread the word about Thoughts Count Anywhere. The QR code, damn it, after going so many weeks so well. I saw it out of the corner of my eye, and I just instinctively went this way. Anyway, scan the code. Takes you right to our website to do all of that fun stuff. All right. Next match on the card, the tag match, Baszler and Jax. Sasha and Belair. We talked about that a little bit earlier. If there's going to be a turn for the ladies' championship, like you guys said, I'm in agreement. This is set up perfectly for Sasha to backstab Bianca. Or does Sasha become Sasha two belts at some point and carry the two? Because after all, Bayley did. Does she not want to maybe match Bayley by being a tag champ and the women's champ at the same time, carrying both belts?
Could see maybe they win them and then lose them at. Isn't there fast lane between?
Yeah,
fast lane. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
They could probably win them at this pay-per-view and then lose it at fast lane or something.
And that's when Sasha does the turn.
Yeah,
makes sense.
All
I
right.
just hope out of this tag team nonsense. I just want them to reunite the Iconics. Because why they put Lacey with freaking Peyton Royce is so dumb. I've hated creative writing since that day.
Well, it's like I said last week. I went on WWE's site, and the top 3 people in the creative writing department are all civilians, like me. They have no idea what they're doing behind the scenes as far as creative writing. If you want good storylines, put the freaking wrestlers behind the scenes that you have, like Steamboat, Fit Finlay, etc., and let them write the damn storylines with the wrestlers. Thank you.
Believe it or not, that is not his official rant.
No, it's not.
Like 5 minutes
which we are about to do right now. Well, I didn't want to stop him. He was on a roll. So it is now time for officially the Chiefs rant.
1.5.
Good morning, everyone. It's time for the Chiefs rant. Here we go. Big guys. Keith Lee, Kevin Owens. I've got a hum in my headphone, but that's okay.
That's how you keep going.
I really have a hard time listening to Vince McMahon talk about it's got to be a certain profile of a wrestler. I'm going to go back a little bit. You look at superstar Billy Graham, you look at Bruno Sammartino, you look at Pedro Morales, you look at Baron Mikel, you look at Lou Albano. When Vince's dad ran the business, the profile of the wrestler didn't mean a damn thing. The wrestler could wrestle. That's the bottom line. Now you look at guys like Keith Lee, you look at Nia Jax, you look at Kevin Owens. They're wrestlers. Doesn't make a damn bit of difference what they look like. They are professional wrestlers. I've seen Keith Lee do a flip off of the top turnbuckle out here in Las Vegas. Do it professionally. So Vince, you need to get your head out your ass. Now to move on. Kevin Cross needs to win the freaking belt back from Finn Balor. And then he needs to get moved up to either Raw or SmackDown, whichever. You're just delaying it. Why you're delaying it, I don't understand. Okay? You need to bring Scarlett along with him. She needs to start wrestling. Y'all never seen Scarlett wrestle. I have. Very professional. I don't understand WWE, period. The only show that matters, in my mind, is NXT. That's the only one that matters. Okay, Raw and SmackDown stink, in my opinion. But Kevin needs to get the belt back, or carrying, or however you want to call it, fans.
TikTok.
However you want to call it. Okay, the hourglass is emptying out, and it's time that he gets the big push. But to really piss me off, Vince, you need to take a look at yourself in the mirror because your plastic surgery is getting pretty bad. So how the hell can you want to bitch about how other people look? That's my rant for today. Next week, there will be no Chiefs rant. Because
I'll tag in for you.
I appreciate it.
All right, there you have it. The Chief on fire. 3 rants so far in the first 30 minutes of the show. That was the official one. All right, real quickly, let's take our second time out because I have a funny feeling we're going to run this right to the top of the hour. You're watching Thoughts Count Anywhere. We'll be back in about 60 seconds.
This is John Cena. I just wanted to send you a congratulations on your podcast. Thoughts count anywhere. Because indeed they do. Thoughts are important. I mean, what would we do without them? And how can they not count anywhere? Is there a place that thoughts don't count? I can't think of one. Well, I just wanted to say thank you very much, congratulations, and good luck on the podcast. Thoughts count anywhere, because they do.
It's not the worst podcast ever, is it? It's the best podcast. Thoughts count anywhere. All your wrestling news, all your hobbit all your gimmickry. Go on over, listen wherever your podcasts are downloaded. The Thoughts Count Anywhere podcast. I'm the big LG Doc Ellis. That's my endorsement. Booyah!
All right, welcome back to Thoughts Count Anywhere. By the way, if you're about to leave your house and you need to leave your computer and you're not able to watch us, but you still want to take us on the go, simply go to your app store. Whether you're on an Android, iPhone, whatever device you're on, go to the store and look up Go Live Vegas. 3 separate words. Download the mobile app to your phone. Great music when there's no show playing. Everything from the 50s on up. When there is a show playing like this one, and then the next one at 10:30, Rise of the Fan. And then after that, Twin Brothers. Then you can continue to listen to all the great shows that are here on Go Live Vegas. All right, let's go to the WWE report. Because we've already touched on the first 4 topics through our conversations of the Elimination Chamber and who's in it, WWE is working on a new NXT show called NXT Evolve. There's already graphics and some things that already have been shot, I believe. Belts have been made. And we'll have more of a gritty fight feel. Is this Raw Underground? Is that what we're looking at here? Is this a professionally produced Raw Underground piece now that's going to come out under the NXT banner?
No, I'm hoping it's just more of like... Evolve is always like a more fightish feel to it. But hopefully it's just like a more like gritty camera angles. It's kind of like a more fight feel like AEW is supposedly supposed to have. Which they don't. But hopefully with WWE and Triple H and them in charge of it, it'll be what's advertised, hopefully.
Okay. I just got an email from our friend Scott Teal, author of many wrestling books and stuff. I just got an email. There's a book, I guess, that he did, Master of the Ring. Buddy Rogers would be turning 100 years old.
Wow.
How's that for going back in the day, huh?
The Camden, New Jersey Flash.
There you go. All good people come out of New Jersey.
Hey, Sean writes in, NXT matters because Vince has very little to do with it.
Thomas Burnett asked, isn't Evolve having a show soon? I thought Evolve was bought by WWE and the promoter for Evolve was all part of it. I don't know that Evolve is doing anything under their own umbrella anymore. I don't know that at all, so that's what I'm kind of asking.
I have no idea, folks.
All right, Thomas, if you have more information on where you saw that, shoot it to us with a link. We'd love to check it out, and maybe we could chase it down. All right, let's move. Go ahead.
Or pick the phone up and call us.
There you go. 702-329-6947. All right, let's go to the AEW Impact Ring of Honor report. Ooh, Tony Khan and Cody said they are open to a crossover with WWE. Do we really think that is something that can happen at this point?
If Vince isn't in charge down the road, possibly. If Vince is in charge, it'll never happen.
It took the words right out of my mouth. I was like, as long as Vince is in that chair, it'll never happen. Anything past that, it's a possibility.
There you go. Sammy Guevara has heat with AEW management as he was supposed to work an angle on Impact and then complained about the creative, which could hurt their partnership. So he's unhappy with what they were going to position with him on Impact, voiced it, and now all of a sudden his dislike of whatever creative was doing has escalated to possibly hurting the partnership. I don't know what the angle was, but does Sammy Guevara have that kind of power that it's putting their partnership between Impact and AEW in jeopardy? I can't see that happening.
No, and Impact's so lucky to get that partnership because they're always like, are they going to survive this month? But with this partnership, they seem to be doing pretty well.
Who's that guy that's in charge with the glasses on Impact?
Don Callis.
No. The other guy.
Scott D'Amore.
Thank you. I wonder if Scott really knows what he's doing. I guess he got his ass handed to him, and it was a good storyline on Impact or on AEW this week with Jericho telling everybody to shut up, basically saying Sammy's out of there. It's a good storyline. But as far as AEW and Impact, come on. Does one wrestler really make that much difference? I mean, if it's Jericho or somebody like that, yeah, maybe. But as far as Impact, I'll just leave it there. Question mark.
Now, if there was a problem, Jericho would be the right ambassador to smooth things over if there was a big issue. But I don't know. I can't.
It would have to be a gigantic issue for Impact to actually get rid of that partnership because it's putting their wrestlers on national television.
Yeah,
so
not on their other channel.
Something catastrophic would have to go on for Impact to be like, nah, never mind.
Sean shares with us in the chat room. Evolve was purchased by WWE back on July 2nd. They're not doing any of their own shows. It will all be under the WWE umbrella.
That will be on Peacock TV.
Which I'm now a proud owner of since my WWE Universe membership is going to be going away at the end of this month. So, all right, Heath Slater's been out of action since Bound of Glory and will have surgery March 1st to fix 2 hernias as well as a torn abductor muscle. Why did he wait so long? That would be my question.
I guess he went to like multiple doctors and they kept saying he needed multiple surgeries and he finally found a doctor that would do it all at once.
Gotcha.
So March 1st, I guess he's having surgery. Hopefully he recovers quickly and like to see him back in the ring. He's always like a freaking entertaining wrestler.
Oh, absolutely.
I agree.
Now, when he showed up on that match where he got hurt, he didn't come out per se as the carefree, I need work, I'm a dad, I got to feed my kids. There was a little bit of it in there, but he came out with a little bit tighter character, a little more serious, I guess is the word I'm looking for. Still respected, still was responded to very well when he came out by the fans. I would like to see Heath. Look, 3MB, 2/3 of them have done very well. right?
Yes.
Jinder Mahal and, of course, Drew McIntyre.
Yes.
What did they I mean, yeah, he's a multiple tag team champ with Rhino and all that sort of stuff. Why would they have not taken Slater and done something more prolific with him like they did with the others?
He needs to do the 3-and-B thing. Leave for like 3 years, come back jacked as hell, and then come back and win the WWE Championship.
Yeah, well, he might have that time now recovering from this surgery. Once he's
Yeah.
done and cleared to start working out again, we probably will see a more physically fit Heath Slater. All right, interesting thought. All right, next topic. Jon Moxley to challenge Kenny Omega for the AEW Championship in an exploding barbed wire death match.
Sign me up. I want to see it.
So there's going to be explosives tied to the barbed wire, so if you fall into it or touch it or bang into it, kablooey.
I'm not 100% sure, but it sounds entertaining as hell to me.
I would say both of the fellas have some experience with that type of match, being that they both have wrestled in Japan. And if I'm not mistaken, that's where the exploding barbed wire match first took place. I agree with you. It's going to be entertaining, and I just hope Moxley wins the belt back.
If AEW and WWE were to get over the hump and put something together for you, whether it's a one-time thing or whatever, what's your dream matchups? Give me a couple of matches you guys would like to see in that pairing of WWE and AEW talent. Give me a card.
Omega and AJ Styles.
Okay?
I was going to say Omega and Seth Rollins.
Make it a three-way, triple threat. Okay. What else? You give me. Let's fill out a card for Dream pay-per-view. Let's call it the TCA pay-per-view.
Moxley versus Reigns.
Okay.
Seen that.
Yeah, but now would be a little different though.
Yeah,
I think we'd be
true.
in agreement. Their characters are so different at this point, and he couldn't come back as billed as Dean Ambrose, obviously, because he's under contract. It would be Moxley, but both of them are very different characters now than they were 2 years ago.
True.
I would still see that one though.
Who's the fella that Jake the Snake manages?
Lance Hoyt.
How about Lance Hoyt against Drew McIntyre?
That'd be a good one.
I'm sorry, I'm just reading the comments. Phil Campbell puts in there, that would be a pretty interesting match between Omega and Moxley, which I think we all agree. Sean asks, how long until we see Okada in AEW and Kenny Omega tear it up on American soil?
Sign me up.
You got any inside report there, Sean?
Yeah, sure.
I'm ready.
Share the dirt if you got it. So for our dream pay-per-view, what would be your main event match? Main event, last one, the one that's going to just end it all, off the top.
It'd probably have to be a Kenny Omega versus AJ.
It's interesting. Neither of you have mentioned Chris Jericho so far. Would he not be worthy to be involved in that, to just shove it in Vince's face at this point?
He would have to be in it, but he's on the decline now, so...
Yeah, physically he doesn't look good.
He almost broke his neck doing that lion salt like a couple weeks ago.
I saw the clip.
What about Cody? Does Cody want to stick it in Vince's face too?
Storyline purposes, Cody versus Triple H.
Oh.
How about Cody versus Vince?
We would need the Undertaker back to have a casket ready, because I don't know if Vince would survive that match. Interesting. There's so many interesting pairings. How about from the ladies' side? Anybody in the ladies' divisions? And we'll take NXT into account here, of course, because they are under the WWE umbrella.
You know, let me just put it this way. I would love to see when we open up 90%, do a huge outdoor show somewhere and use WWE, AEW, Impact, New Japan, all the major companies, and do a week-long freaking show for the fans, and I'll bet you we'd buy it.
I'd instantly buy something like that.
Put it all on pay-per-view.
Because we deserve it.
Yeah, I would think when arenas open back up, so to speak, and attendance is allowed to come back with some significance, the wrestling industry should, in my opinion, put something on, like you said, Chief, that is spectacular to thank the fans for sticking with them to the degree that they have, whether it's with WWE and the remote faces on the computers, allowing people to do that. Daly's Place, Impact, they're doing the same thing, very limited audience. Something needs to happen on a big scale within the wrestling industry, a show of some sort to thank all their fans for hanging out and being part of it. And you want to include some of the major indies too, New Japan and Ring of Honor and all that?
Yep.
Let's make it a weekend event, 5 days, whatever it is. Yep. I think that needs to happen to thank the industry. A couple of thoughts on the women's matches coming into the chamber. See, I got chamber in my mind.
It's okay.
Coming into the chat room, Thomas Burnett says Thunder Rosa versus Charlotte, Flair, or Sasha. Phil Campbell says Thunder Rosa versus Sasha. Phil also then throws Bayley and Britt Baker. Now that we have the dueling talk shows, right?
Britt Baker is so much more entertaining than Bayley.
Yeah, I agree.
I agree with you, Sean. Hunter is a fan of wrestling, and when Vince is gone, WWE will work with other companies then.
Absolutely.
I totally agree with you.
You know what? It almost brings back sort of like mini territories again, but that's kind of the way things are shaping up if you think about it.
Yes.
There's this territorial feel to what is happening right now with the partnership between AEW and Impact and then WWE and blah, blah, blah. So who knows what'll happen. All right. We are coming around the clubhouse turn. I want to remind everybody that 10:30, join in for Rise of the Fan. It is a show all about and for the fan, brought to you by the Fan Action Nation. JoinTheFan.com is the website. Check out what's going on. See what's happening as we march towards our official launch in April. Join myself and Brett Lawson. We will be co-hosting the show together. And our first guest is going to be none other than the founder of the Fan, Andy Coppell, will join us as our first guest as we show the world the rise of the fan is something that needs to happen in the sports industry. Also, after we're done with pop culture, we'll announce who is our guest co-host for next week.
Who?
Right, who? All right, let's get into pop culture. All right, being a big baseball fan, although it's not the bullets you have there, I want to mention pitchers and catchers have reported, I believe, this past week.
Nice.
And there's nothing like things that hope springs eternal when it's spring training. Baseball starting, the free agents, the Yankees finally got Brett Gardner under
signed
contract.
for 1 year.
1 year, $4 million or whatever it is. That was a good move. But there's just something about pitchers and catchers reporting. Hope springs eternal.
Well, I actually went on spring training sites, and there are tickets for sale for the spring training games.
That's good.
So I guess they're going to allow some fans in.
Yankees are even thinking about bringing back their Field of Dreams thing that they had done many, many years. You can sign up for 1 week. Fantasy camps. That's the word I want to target. You go down there for 1 week. You train. You wear the uniform, and then you have a game at the end. So they're talking about bringing that. It was never cheap.
That'd be crazy.
I hope someday I could do that. All right, let's get to our topic. Why don't you take the first one there, Mr. Matt?
Mortal Kombat. The trailer released for the movie, it looks freaking epic. I can't wait. It comes out in April on HBO Max.
There you go.
If you haven't seen it, go check it out.
Why does all this shit come out on HBO Max?
Because they signed Universal. Universal signed a contract with HBO Max that all their movies that were going to come out in theaters because theaters are closed, that they're all coming out on HBO Max.
Okay.
Look, ultimately what's going to happen with all these streaming services like HBO Max, Peacock, and the Netflixes and all that, cable's going to go away. I have the dish. What I love about the dish is the time difference where I can catch all my shows at the earlier times.
Oh, so that's why you write me all the spoilers, huh?
That's
okay.
right. I actually have DirecTV.
I got DirecTV, and I get it like raw at like 5 o'clock.
Right, exactly.
And I'm like, let's get this over with.
Exactly. Well, that's why I record it, and then I thumb through it later. But you get all the East Coast 8 p.m. stuff at 5 o'clock.
Yeah.
Sports, you never have a late game. I can catch the Yankees when they're on at 5 o'clock in the afternoon, not 8 o'clock. So that's why I love the satellite stuff. But now I got HBO Max. I've got Peacock since the WWE service is going to be moving over because that's going to go away. The network, that's going to go away. And the only way to watch that is Peacock starting March 1st also. All right. Next topic. I'll take the second one. I'll leave the last one for you.
Appreciate it.
Kim Kardashian files for divorce from Kanye. Why? Who cares? Why? How did the Kardashians become famous in the first place to warrant a show? That's what I want to know.
Like Joe Rogan said in one of his stand-up things, if aliens were to land on this planet and they were to say who's the most popular person in this world, you would almost have to say Kim Kardashian and try to explain why.
Well, you
It's
know,
true.
it popped up on Facebook yesterday, and I saw it, and it said she's worth $1 billion, and Kanye's worth $1.3 billion.
Jeez.
Look, I can say I'm worth $10 billion. If it's all on paper, what's the difference? Is that liquid stuff? You know what I'm saying?
But evidently, they're they're being civil to each other.
Well, they have kids. That's why.
Well, yeah.
That's
but-
why you need Heath Slater get involved. There's kids involved.
Well, no. In seriousness, they said that with the prenups and everything, they're not. You know, they're both being very civil. Kim's in the $60 million mansion in California, and Kanye's up in Wyoming, I believe, on the ranch up there or something like that. But they are being civil with each other.
We are getting an update as we speak. As you see, Matt and I are looking up towards our teleprompter. Rumor is it's about money, and they really are getting divorced, but they will remain together. Okay.
Why do you know this, Aaron?
Yeah, exactly.
What's your source?
Internet. That's the source. All right, last topic. Go ahead, take the last topic before we quickly do birthdays, Chief, because we have about 2 minutes left.
I am finally glad to see it. Power Play Sports Cards will be doing their first card show of 2021, March 20th and the 21st at Sunset Station. So glad for Scott. Please go out and support it. Again, is March 20th, 21st, Power Play Sports Card at Sunset Station.
You can go to the Power Play Sports Facebook page to check out more news when there's more details. So that's only a month away. So I know Scott is hustling. He did get officially approved to have that event done. All right, before we say goodbye, it is birthday time real quickly. I don't know if we have the music queued, but I'm going to get started because we're down to about a minute and a half.
Happy birthday to you.
Absolutely. If you're celebrating a birthday today through next Friday, we want to wish you all a happy birthday. And, of course, you are celebrating with these folks from the wrestling genre. Today, the 20th, Gail Kim and Killian Dane. Tomorrow, the 21st, Bertha Faye, one of the original Glow Girls. Brodus Clay, Carlito, Tommy Mercer, the 24th, Shinsuke Nakamura, Corey Graves. The 25th, Sean O'Hare, DJ Gabriel, Maria Kanellis, and, of course, Ric Flair. And on the 26th, James Mitchell and Pentagon Jr. Happy birthday to all of you from all of us here. Hat. I'm thinking hats. I'm seeing hats. The Undertaker. Thoughts count anywhere. All right, fellas. Red light is on, which means we're down to about a minute and a half. Good stuff today. I'm looking forward to recapping Elimination Chamber next week.
Who?
Have a good week, everybody. Be safe. Hopefully there's no morons on Fremont Street tonight.
Nuns?
So I might not be here next week. Might be in jail for
Oh, my gosh.
unspeakable
Happy
things
birthday to
for
Phil
dumb
Campbell.
people.
I bet she's. Happy birthday to Phil Campbell, who is celebrating on Wednesday.
Happy birthday.
I'll get to it.
Everybody be safe. Wash your hands, wash your clothes, and be kind to each other.
There you go. All right. Before I forget, and I really didn't, next week's special in-studio guest taking place. No one can replace the Chief. That's why it's a special guest. None other than Matt Robles will be here in studio next week. Fresh off the road where his guy won his championship last week. So we know he's excited.
Sam Adonis.
He will be here in studio helping us while Chief is taking care of business. Have a great week, everybody. Be kind to everybody. We're all we have. See you at 10:30 right here. Thank you, everybody.